get me tools. So for this review, I've split it up into a number of different questions. Things that I think are the easiest to answer, which gives you my overall user experience with this lens. Okay? What is it? It's a 0.95 50mm lens from TT Artisans. It is a massive piece of glass. Like, it's a big lens. It's dioptical. It's a remake of an original Leica Noctilux lens, which you can still find, but are expensive. It's a big, solid lens. You got your f1s, or your f1.2, 1.4. This is an f0.95 lens. Therefore, it's heavy and it's letting in a whole bunch of light. Construction is absolutely solid. All metal, all glass. The throw on it is silky smooth, nicely gripped. The grip on this is really nice. Clicked aperture ring. Yep. It's a nice, well-built tank of a lens. Shooting daytime with this lens is amazing. If you're trying to shoot anything less than 10 feet, you're going to have problems. I tried to shoot this thing at 0.95. There's no point in owning a Ferrari and driving it around in first gear. I shot it in a 0.95 as much as I could. Only at night time did I stop it down. Moving objects are super hard. You are going to throw shots even when you're just handheld shooting. But daytime 0.95, that 10 foot to infinite range is where I generally found it. I did try and take some closer shots, 0.7 of a meter is the minimum for it, but it's, with the depth of field on this lens being so thin, it's just super hard to get anything less than 10 feet. So 10 foot back or just flat wide open, infinite, it captures the light amazingly, and it's a 0.95. Daytime shots are great. Nighttime is where we start to have trouble with this lens. Despite it being a 0.95 and it letting a lot of light in, my camera, and it's actually a problem with my camera system, but we'll get into that afterwards, I found I'd have to stop the lens to 1.2. It wasn't happy shooting 0.95 on my camera system. But there's reasons for that. If you're running off of a tripod you may well get away with shooting, but I didn't want to use a tripod. Or if you're shooting into the light at night, like with the some of the shots you'll see at the end of the video, if you're shooting into a light, then the contrast that it picks out, even at, I think I was exposure comping down a third of a stop at night because Leica and blowing out the highlights. I was stopping down a third. I did throw it to 1.2 a few times, but I was stopping down a third and I had to push the ISO on my camera to get the best out of the lens because it was pretty dark with a lot of light, with a lot of moving lights. So it was actually tricky. Did throw an awful lot of shots with that, but we'll get into that later. If you've got a good camera system, you'll be fine. Issues. I don't see this lens having any issues. The issue is my camera system. This is a me problem, not a you problem. Leica M8s, they don't like pushing the ISO too far and they don't like pushing it fast. So I normally shoot 160 with my Voigtlander 21, which is a 1.5. Nighttime with this lens, I had to push the ISO on my camera, which means I was shooting 320 or 640. The M8 does 320 quite well, but 640, which is where I needed, or to be higher, you're not going to get what you want out of the camera and your images are going to be grainy. So if you're shooting something that can actually push the ISO faster without graining up your images massively, this lens is going to be amazing even for low light and reasonably dark conditions. The M8 just doesn't do it, and that's the crux of my experience. I borrowed it to shoot at night at a particular event, and it was just hard work. I ended up going back to my Voigtlander 21 1.5 because it was just more comfortable to shoot with, and I could get the quality I wanted out of my shots. This 50mm wasn't doing it, unfortunately. Also, I don't like shooting 50mm, but it was a very interesting and humbling learning experience. And if you get a chance to buy one or borrow one, try it and let me know how you get on. FOMO, the fear of missing out. Do I want this lens? Yes, 100%. But I'm not going to buy it. I need a better camera system to be able to get to be able to reap the benefits of this lens. You know, this lens is made for a lot of different mounts. Nikon, Sony, Fuji, Panasonic. If you've got a modern camera and it takes this lens, grab it. I think you'll do wonderful things with it. But I need a M9, M10, M11 to even get the best out of this lens, and I'm not there in my camera journey yet to be investing that kind of money into those kind of cameras. You can pick these up new for about $1,000, second hand for about $7. If you want to pick up the original, I think it's 1966.95 in gold, I think it's about 14 grand, which is mental. Looking around, just perusing, there's a lot of Canon Dream lenses, which are cine lenses, 50mm 0.95s that have popped up on the market recently. I'm going to do some research because maybe that with a different camera, we'll see. If I get an M9 or an M10 at some point, I will probably buy this lens. It's a very good lens. It's bloody heavy, but it does take good shots at daytime. Nighttime on my camera, no. So concluding, thank you Etienne for the loan of the lens. A humbling and yet amazing learning experience with this lens. It's well built, it's solid, it renders beautifully. It just, with the depth of field being a wafer thin, yeah, it's ridiculous. Even when you're shooting completely wide open at infinite, it does amazing things. You hit your focus and then it's just bump outwards. It renders beautifully. It's a great lens. We'll see what the future holds. Maybe one day I'll own one of these, but for now, not for me. Peace.